Welcome to System Shock 2. In this update, we will take care of the second half of the command deck, but first, we have to go take a trek all over the ship in order to do some things, mainly going to hubs in order to make it so that we will be able to set the computer override in order to let Shodan go on the Rickenbacker, and all of this sort of jazz. And we're also gonna collect some other cyber modules that we miss along the way, including the ones that I just collected at the beginning of this update, which I happened to miss in my whole playthrough.
It's all a question of procedures, really. So many people don't seem to understand.
Consider me as part of the people who don't understand. You talking to me? There's nobody in this room, so you must be talking to me. It's definitely been quite a while since we've had to do as much backtracking as this. It was on Deck 1 Engineering, and how fitting enough, Command is about as big as Engineering. So before going to hubs, we're gonna take a side trek to the hydroponic deck because I've been pointed out about those cyber modules that I missed earlier. So all in all, thanks to Radon for posting about it in the thread. I'm finally collecting them for you. And yeah, all of these pieces of glass happen to be worm-proof, so this is why we have to use our crystal shard. I completely missed this room in my single-player update because I assumed that it was an unbreakable glass, but no, there's an entire area around here, and I figured it out during our multiplayer recording sessions, thanks to a Raving Loon and Killer MC. And yeah, by the way, be very careful whenever you're hanging in there, so make sure you drink your champagne while standing on this really unsafe beam. Because if you go into that pit of water down here, you're just gonna boil like a lobster and you're gonna die. And there's no bioreconstruction chamber in here, by the way. As for these modules there, they also were pointed out by Radon. So here we go, we finally collected them. So, time to bring our mission back on track. We're gonna go all the way back to hubs in order to finally use our ops override card that we got. Remember that one room which was locked and for which we didn't have the key? This is exactly where we need to go. But first of all, we're gonna have to take a sidetrack to the crew quarter part over here because in this playthrough I didn't go there yet, so time to get the modules and here we go, back on track in order to finally do our mission. I always was kind of disappointed with the fact that there's absolutely nothing to pick up in this room at all.
I can now transfer my magnificence to the Rickenbacker. Proceed to the engine core on the engineering deck. There you can set the core overload to my control by entering the authorized destruct code 94834. Once you have done that, we may proceed to the Rickenbacker. Separate the two ships and exterminate this infestation.
Ugh. Why did I have to go back on this deck again? I know that I'm really strong and I have absolutely nothing to fear from enemies around here, but I still hate this place.
Is there...
Also, it doesn't help that the enemies spawning around this section seem to be exactly the same every time. I mean, every time I went there, it almost always was like this. There was one guy waiting for me in that one corner, and here we go, the other guys around here. So we are here in order to figure out the other thing that we couldn't figure out the use of the last time that we came, which was that one door which was protected by a keypad lock. The one that we need a code for and we didn't have any, but Shodan gave us the code this time, so we can finally open it. Also, I don't know why in the notes you don't get the password listed on the ops deck, because while you're using it in engineering, you do learn about it on ops.
I can now destroy this infestation my will. The many quake at my power. You are an effective drone, human. Now, return to the command deck. Locate the umbilical. And evacuate to the Rickenbacker.
So, it has finally came down to this. We're gonna have to destroy this ship, and our time aboard the Von Braun is finally closing to an end. We just need to go all the way back up to deck 6, and we'll finally be able to leave the Von Braun for good. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this route because it's far quicker to leave by the maintenance ladder instead of having to go through the entire maze in order to get to the elevator. But before we go back to deck 6, I have a shit ton of modules to spend, so let's get right down to the business. Now, without any kind of doubt, I have more than enough module to buy tier 4 disciplines, and I'll take this ability which allows me to stun robotic enemies dead in their track. And finally, let's level up once more our exotic weapon skills because we'll need full ability eventually in order to be able to equip the final weapon, and let's put another point in endurance because at this point might as well spend the last modules that I have handy. I need to be looking pretty for my arrival in the Rickenbacker.
Beware, insect.
The situation has changed.
They sense our intentions and are loading shuttles with their offspring. They will not escape my wrath. You must proceed
To the shuttle bays on this deck and destroy those shuttles. They have a taste for your blood
Security system offline.
I always thought that Shodan's last word here, whenever they're being backed up by this sweeping chord of a synthesizer, always sounded pretty powerful. So we have another rumbler here, and let's see how fast he will die with the adrenaline overproduction. Yeah, 2 hits, exactly like I said. It's probably gonna take you more hits than that if you still use a wrench and have absolutely no exotic weapons, but still, this is one of the best abilities in the game. Ah, come on. I really don't have time to waste with those insects. Yeah, the viral proliferator can kill swarms.
I don't know what those goddamn worms want with the shuttles, but I'd love to throw a monkey wrench their way. If I can reach the control chamber above the shuttle bay, I can turn off the shields the worms and their helpers have set up around the shuttles. Once they're down, I can blow holes in those triabdomen brand tin cans with my sidearm. Now if I can just get in there without getting caught. Oh god, just get me out of this.
Unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that we will find his corpse somewhere around here pretty soon. And yeah, I didn't try opening this door because I keep forgetting that you are able to open these doors, but well, on the front side you cannot really open the first door at all. I could open the second one if I wanted, but yeah, remember that Delacroix is in one of those shuttle bays.
Machine Mother conceived. She cannot remain.
Okay, so big robots can now be added to the list of things that completely cannot threaten me anymore. While Psy characters are by far the weakest characters of the entire game in the beginning portion of the game, once you get to this point of the game and you develop all of the higher tier abilities and all of this, you become insanely powerful because you can pretty much just use your magic tricks in order to destroy everything in your path. Honestly, that was pretty much the part of the playthrough where I kinda regretted to play on normal because at this point things kinda become a little too easy because I'm just way too powerful for everything around me, but Once again, in order to get to this point, you need to know what abilities to develop and what kind of things you need to go for, and finally you need to know how to deal with all of the threats that you face into the game proper. After all, I had to suffer quite a bit before I got to that point in the playthrough. I had to circle strafe robots and hit them with the wrench, and even when you have all of these powerful abilities, you still need to be careful because you can still fry your brain just by using your higher tier ability because they just charge way fast. And finally, don't forget that there's quite a couple of adversaries through the game which you don't really have good answers as a pure psionic character. I mean, whenever you deal with turrets, your best ability is cryokinesis, and even then that requires a lot of psi points. Hence why I invested in energy weapons in order to be able to deal with them painlessly. Because at this point of the game, dealing with those rocket turrets with only psi powers kinda suck. I mean, at this point of the game, I could use electron suppression in order to paralyze the turrets, but the duration for this ability is still very short, so if I was to paralyze all 3 turrets, then I will still have to be very careful, because who knows when one of those turrets could finally snap and finally start shooting at me again. So going back to the area where we are right now, the command deck for the most part is really where you start feeling that either the game was rushed or they just decided, okay, fuck ambience, because this part is about destroying the shit out of everything. So here, have this upbeat techno music while the eggs make absolutely no sound whatsoever, and where you kinda don't hear the sounds that go around you all of the time. And this probably could be a conscious design decision, considering that at this point, you're not really hiding in fear from the invaders, because here you're just, okay, we have to destroy the shit out of those shuttles carrying eggs. The many are here to suffer, and it is I who will bring their suffering!
The glorious transformation is over.
I am one of the many. I imprint
My thoughts on this device as a record of history. We began this journey as pilgrims of commerce,
and we now continue it as pilgrims of grace.
I believed in money and triumphed of it, and now I believe in the joy of the mass.
Diego cannot
Be trusted, so I must claim the ship for the many. It shall be our vessel of salvation, spreading our message and our flesh.
So, it's been like 3 days ever since that Kudrickin pretty much stopped being a human being. Alright, another swarm, you know the routine, time to bring out our thing that shoots worms. The fun thing with this weapon is that whenever it's in anti-annealing mode, it doesn't deal any damage to you, so you can just spam shot willy-nilly and you're not gonna hurt yourself, and you might as well just destroy every single annelid creature which is in front of you. Mainly because of how fast this thing can deal damage and how little ammo it requires once it's modded. It can become a very interesting weapon, but it still kinda falls short for a few reasons, mainly because this is a weapon that cannot gain any damage bonuses at all, either whenever you mod the weapon or whenever you increase your exotic weapon skill.
My creation, once again, is one step ahead of you.
They've managed to destroy the shuttle's shield control computer.
But their brilliance is a jealous shadow of my own. You will locate a replicator in the shuttle control area. I've uploaded the nano formula for a sympathetic resonator. You must hack the replicator to make it generate the device for you. Once you have it, attach it to the shield generator in the shuttle bay. The device will create a chronic resonation wave that will quickly rupture the shuttle's fuel tank and destroy it. Make sure you're not there when it happens. I still have need of you.
Hi there.
Please
this can be troublesome because in the worst case scenario, if you haven't got any hacking skill at all, getting your axe skill all the way up to 3 will cost you 23 cyber modules. The game will give you 20, but unless you have 3 other modules that are lying around from previously, it is possible to outright lose the game because it's no longer possible to progress. Unless that you go around and try to find some modules that you might have missed.
Good. You've murdered their young and prevented their escape.
I've opened the gate to the umbilical at the central tram stop. You can evacuate to the Rickenbacker from there.
So we finally got our cue to leave the Von Braun, but before, let's go here because I could go into that shuttle bay early.
Do not presume to go in there, insect. Proceed to the umbilical immediately. I will not abide disobedience.
I'm sorry, Shodan, but the way you're talking about it really makes me feel as if you're trying to hide something from me. And I intend to find it.
It's my job to worry.
So what could be the reason that made it so that I could not go into that place? Well, maybe she doesn't want me to find Delacroix. Is she around here? And yeah, do exactly as I'm doing if you want to waste all of your Psy points, because, as you may remember, half mechanical enemies take half damage from cryokinesis. Okay, so nobody else seems to be around, so time to go have a look in order to see if I can find something that could be incriminating against Shodan.
They've got me now, and Shodan has abandoned me. I'm not surprised. I've discovered her plans for the faster-than-light drive. Her will is only matched by her imagination. If she gains access to the...
Ah, god damn it. Yeah, we can save Delacroix as well. And she got killed by Shodan, or at least by Shodan's offspring. And I guess that she was no longer around here in order to protect her this time. But what's the deal with the faster-than-light drive? What could she do with this? After all, we are going to blow up this spaceship and make it so that everything on board will die, so I don't see why this would be a concern, so why did she kill her? Also, it's also time to wonder, whenever Shodan will no longer need me, will she do that as well?
I hope you enjoyed our little rebellion, irritant. But remember what Shodan gives. She is more than able to take away.
Now, that was just a childish laughter if I've heard one. Curse you, Shodan! And finally, you didn't steal my module, you stole Delacroix's module. Uh-oh, these people are not happy about me blowing up the shuttles, but it doesn't really matter anymore. Just in case you wondered, the viral proliferator has splash damage. And also it doesn't even have a reloading animation, so reloading on it is instantaneous. So this weapon can be ready at any time that you need it to be ready. As long as you have the right ammo, everything around you will horribly die. This weapon might have a lot of drawbacks and it may break very easily, but in the right hands it can be very powerful. Even if it can be somewhat random at times. I mean, sometimes you will attack those spiders with the viral proliferator, and sometimes you'll kill them in one hit, but most other times you probably need 2 shots in order to be able to kill them properly. I'm not really sure how it works because the nature of these projectiles just seem very random. Let's see what other Psy ability I will get this time. And I'll go for what may be the most powerful ability in the entire game whenever you're a Psy character that wants to pretty much evade combat. Photonic Redirection, which makes you invisible. It works pretty much the way that it's advertised. Enemies are no longer able to see you, and even robots, turrets, and any other thing will fail to see you. But for some weird reason, sometimes spiders will be able to see you while you're invisible. I'm not really sure why they, of all enemies in the game, will be able to do that, but it's not as if at this moment spiders are much of a threat. So here we go! It's finally time for us to board the Rickenbacker and finally destroy this ship.
Our will creates a wall to
Block your progress. Come and meet us on the bridge of the Von Braun.
let us discuss your future.
Wait, that voice really seems familiar. Was that Kudrickin? So now he wants to talk to us. Well, that's pretty good news because I kinda have a word to say to him as well. And while I'm coming to meet you, could have you have at least asked all of your cronies to stay put and just let me go because you're kind of a rude asshole again. So, it turns out that this update will pretty much end at the same place that the last update also ended. On the bridge. So, what exactly will Kudrickin has to offer us? Will he make us one of the many? Will he try to kill us? I'm kinda not looking forward to this encounter because who knows what he looks like by now.
Agility activated.
Bad Kudrickin, that's not what talking is. You talk first and you kill later.
Invisibility upgraded.
So this is what Kudrickin ended up being? A simile octobrain with gross tentacles? Yeah, I'm not even gonna take my chances with this guy. To hell with showing how much health he has in anything, I just want him to die, so... Is that it? Did I finally win, or...? Wait, so Kudrickin can just come back to life whenever he wants? And shoot me in the face while he's dying? God, what a jerk. But wait, didn't this guy Prefontaine talk about floating Psy creatures? That were Psy projections or something? Let's go have a look around just in order to make sure. I'm just gonna break this window in order to be able to see better, and let's go take a look at this gross thing here.
Suarez and his whore want to escape. I do not understand.
They get offered a miracle, and they bite the hand. The many has shared its wisdom.
They shall not leave the ship.
Also, notice how come destroying the brain made the creature reappear, so... Now that the brain is destroyed, will that mean that I'll finally be able to kill him? Who's laughing now, Kudrickin? Ha! May you burn in hell, you stupid, rotten son of a bitch. You wanted this ship to be a major experiment for all that was happening onto this one planet, and now I'm gonna study your organs in order to know how you work. So yeah, the glory of the many involve you being part of some lab experiments in which I drink radium in order to conduct experiments, in order to figure out how this thing works and what it's supposed to be in the first place. So with that said and done, and after the backtracking we've just did, we can finally go back in order to board the Rickenbacker. For real. And at least we have a good shortcut this time around, and thanks to my high agility, I can take it without breaking my bones. And say hello to me missing those modules. Like I said, I missed them onto this one playthrough, so that's 6 less modules that I'm gonna get, but don't worry, they're not really gonna make a huge dent on the character that I want to make in overall. We'll still pull through.
You performed well, insect. I've transmitted some cybernetic modules.
Choose your upgrades wisely.
A worm crawled up my arm and rested on my neck. When he whispered into my ear, I felt a tingle. He told me how to make a weapon that would help us against our enemies. And here's the thing. It's made of worms. It even fires worms. But it stings like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, Norris is talking about the less exotic weapon that we'll find in the game. So, the creature that we just killed was a Psy Reaver, and now we're able to deal 25% more damage to them. These enemies always end up working the same. You have to kill their brain, otherwise they will just regenerate over and over again, and you will never be able to kill them. And finally, they use anti-human attacks, so they hurt a lot whenever they connect on you. So that's it. We hurt on with the Von Braun. And now to our further adventures that will wait for us as we go on the ship that was piggybacking on the Von Braun as its escort, the UNN Rickenbacker.